Turn up my volume so I can hear you all. How are you all doing? So we're going to another chat with Savvy section, or segment. I don't know however you want to call it. We're going to be joined today by Jonny Stockard. We're going to hear all about what he does and where he lives. Because he's over in the States, and as you all know, I'm in UK. It'd be nice and interesting to hear how things are over there, and have a good chat. He should be joining us soon. Time scale is obviously a bit touch and go when you're in different parts. Hiya, I will send you the invite. How are you? You okay?
Yeah. Actually, I wasn't ready. I thought we were just going to be doing some audio, so I wasn't really ready to be on your video. Um,
Okay, you can turn the camera off if you're
well,
uncomfortable with
well,
cameras.
no. It's just that I do have an absolute mess here, and it's Sunday morning, and I'm acting like it's Sunday morning. I want you to know. I am very relaxed, very casual. I have stuff on the table that should not be seen by other human beings, and just let me get a little comfortable and we'll do this. Good
Okay.
morning, by the way. All right.
Good minute. Hi, and
Yeah.
Matt is just clicked on as well. Yeah, don't worry. As you can see, I've got all my little toys in the background on the desk. So it's, yeah.
Yeah. I was a little more casual than that, we'll just say. Anyway, they're having a music festival next to my home. I live 2 blocks from Central Park in Atlanta, and this week is the Music One Festival. It's kind of an urban music. I think Lauryn Hill is here. So
Oh,
the
bro.
neighborhood is full of people. Um, and I've heard, and trucks, and a lot of production stuff. Let me find something to prop this camera up on. All right. Okay.
Ah, that's
And
great.
yeah. Um,
Are you
so,
getting to hear the music?
oh, I can kind of hear it. They have music festivals all the time. Like it was the Foo Fighters a couple of months ago.
Oh,
And,
wow.
and I can sit on the couch and I can kind of tell, is the light too bright behind me?
It's
Hmm.
not too bad if you want to keep it there.
Well, hang on. Or is that better?
That's fine. Yeah,
All
that's
right, cool.
great.
Anyway, so I can hear the music, and you'll recognize, you're like, hey, I know that song, but you don't sing along with it or anything like that.
I get you.
Hmm.
I wish I could just see things like that outside. That would be cool.
Well, yeah, it is cool, except for if you want to park in front of your house for the weekend, because
Ah,
if you can't leave, because if you come back, you have to park about a mile away and walk
really?
in. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
you
wow.
know.
That's a bit of
Hmm.
a walk then to
So
get back.
you guys don't want to hear about my neighborhood. What? And and I, anyway, there's things going on later. So what can I enlighten you with on this Sunday
Yeah.
morning?
How did you get into what you do? With like the cooking side and the cast side of it. How did you get into it all?
Okay, what happened was I went through kind of a bad time in my life, and I I my relationship broke up. I left my job and I moved back to my hometown of Roswell, New Mexico, that place that you've all heard of. I was actually born there, and and I went to a church and they were starting a television station, and somehow I got involved. And like 2 weeks later, I'm the head camera operator, and we would film services and local high school football games, and I started. I ran the camera on that, and the team happened to go to the state championship in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we were there, and I was, you know, setting up what's called a plate. I was gonna anyway. It doesn't matter. This guy walks up to me and says, hey, what film school did you go to? And I laughed and said, I never went to film school. And he gave me his card and he said, I think you should. And he ran the film program at the local college. And
Okay.
yeah, so I signed up and I went through the program. I did very well. Part of the program is you work as an intern on films, right? And New Mexico was big about films at this time, and this is quite a few years ago, and I was one of the older people in the class, so instead of being non-paid, they would pay me something. I don't think they had the nerve not to pay me anything, and
Yeah.
and you just film and television is kind of like the mafia. It's all about who you know, and once you're in, you're just in. And I ended um, I ended up being on a couple shows, and one of the first ones that I was on was Breaking Bad, and
Oh
I got
wow.
that show um, by being in line at a car wash in Alamogordo, New Mexico,
Oh
and
wow.
and the guy in front of me was the caterer on Breaking Bad, and I was in line behind him because we were doing a commercial at White Sands. I do a lot of commercials there, and we started talking. And he said, I'm going to need some help on this show in Albuquerque if you're interested. And I was like, you know what? I might be interested because um, I was very aware of the fact that a lot of the times you get a lot of work just because they're used to seeing you, Clarissa. They're like, I
Yeah.
know that guy. I see him all the time. Yeah, he must be good at what he does. I see him a lot. And so I had a conversation with him. And a month or so later, I was on a show that he kept telling me was called Being Bad. And when I got there, I was
Okay.
like, oh, it's called Breaking Bad. And we all wondered if it would do okay. And it did okay. And
Yeah, it did quite well, didn't it?
it did, yeah. And it just leads from one job to the next, and the next thing you know, it's like 15 years later, and you've been on sets everywhere, and
Yeah.
more than you can even remember. Um, and another quick story: about a year ago, I was watching one of the streaming channels, probably HBO or something, and I looked at the screen and I thought, "Hey, I've worked with that actor." And that other one, and that one. And I started looking at it going, I think I did this show. And I waited for the credits at the end and saw my name. And I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that now. Sometimes they're under different names than when they come out.
I see.
And the point of view from the camera is much different than my point of view. So,
I get it. Do you ever get to get on there and see it while it's being filmed? Did you have to like
yeah,
step out?
no. I mean, I do craft service a lot. Okay, I'm a union member, and that's covers the umbrella of a lot of crafts. And
Okay.
and when I first started out, I was a PA in the AD department, which is where all the action is. And you kind of realize after a while that do you want to do this or do you want to do something else? And I find myself as time goes by, kind of looking for the job that pays the most with the least amount of stress.
Well,
And
that's it.
gotta tell you, I kind of like that a lot. And so I've done craft service a lot. And I remember one of the scenes in Breaking Bad, I was dragging a cart across some really rough ground. And I remember the assistant director said, hey, Jonny, can you hold up? And so I pull up, and for the next 20 minutes, I watch Bryan Cranston redo this one scene over and over. And it's the one where he tells Lydia that he's poisoned her, and he throws down his cell phone. And and I must have watched them do that scene 20 times,
Really?
or yeah, or I mean, you're right by set, and you'll hear him do the scene over and over, and you catch yourself kind of mouthing the dialogue as it's going along, and
Oh, that's
but
awesome.
it and it's kind of cool, but it takes away from watching it, or at least it does for me, because when I go to watch the show, I find myself being diverted by things that I remember, like, wow, it was really hot that day, or
Yeah.
that person was very, very unpleasant, or something like that, instead of following the plot. And um, so a lot of the shows I work on, I intentionally do not watch.
I
Um,
get you.
yeah.
Just so that you
Um,
can, yeah, distance it, relax and watch
yeah.
it.
Yeah. And then I'll watch it afterwards or a couple of years later. And it's kind of fun then and nostalgic at the same time.
Oh, brilliant. We're getting a few comments as well. Just wondering how you got involved with Cobra Kai. How did that one come about?
It was a phone call. The producer, okay, working on a show, and that's what we call what we're working on. It's a term that we use, whatever it is, it's a show.
Yeah.
Um, no matter what it is, a movie, um, a special, we call it a show. And the producer, Bob Wilson, um, you tend to use your same crew. I'd done other stuff with him. And I got a call from Chuck Dupree, who is Bob Wilson's favorite caterer. And Chuck said, "Hey, John, I got a show. It's at the stage. It's about, it was a, it was an 8-minute drive in the morning. Okay. It's 5 miles
Okay.
away. And
That's
that's
easy
what
enough, isn't it?
okay, I had a 15-minute drive home in downtown Atlanta, all right, during rush hour. No one has that. Nobody, yeah. And he says, Bob's got this show going on. It's called Cobra Kai. And he goes, "What does that mean to you?" And I'm thinking, what does that mean to me? Buddy, I'm 55 years old, okay? I'm exactly the same age as Ralph, as it turns out. Ralph is 5 weeks younger. We celebrate my birthday on set, and then 5 weeks later, in a much, much bigger celebration, we celebrate Ralph's birthday.
Cool.
I get a couple of happy birthdays. He gets a giant cake in the shape of the Karate Kid.
All right.
Completely different aspects. But
Okay.
when Chuck asked me, "What does Cobra Kai mean for you?" And I go, "Wasn't that the name of the dojo in the original Karate Kid?" And he was like, "Yeah, it was." And so that's what it was. When we went to work on the show, we did the show for YouTube, right? And originally, not Netflix, it was for YouTube.
Yeah.
And so it was a pretty small, I mean, no one really knew about it. No one followed us around, and nobody really cared. And then when he came out on YouTube, there was kind of, I mean, there was like somewhat of a response. And I would wear my Cobra Kai Crew One hoodie that we got as a wrap gift. And some people were like, "Hey, that's interesting." But when it hit Netflix, that was when it kind of became like Breaking Bad, and people start following you and making you offers on stuff you're wearing. I was offered $300 for my coat one day, and I was like, "I would, but it's cold." I didn't want to take it off.
Oh yeah, God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Do you still get offers like that? Do you still get people wanting to
I,
buy
I,
stuff?
yeah, yeah, I have. Or the funny thing is now that they sell them in the stores, the little mock-up ones, and
Yeah.
I have the original ones. Like I have one that the production, I think that one of the characters wore in season 4. Um, Sometimes I don't know the character's name, but anyway, it's the actor with the ponytail. I have one of the Cobra Kai hoodies that's
Yeah.
production that the production designer gave me because it fit me. Not be, that was the main thing. He's like, "What size are you?" And I was like, "This." He goes, "Hey, this actor wore this one. Why don't you take it?" And people offer me money for that.
Wow.
I have um, crew signs, and I wished I would have put them out. You get little cards that you put in your window that says "Crew Cobra Kai." And at the end of the season, I would take it around and have Billy and Ralph sign one, and then I would take another one around to the kids. And that's what I always called them because during the first seasons, their moms were all there.
Yeah.
Sholo's mom was there, Jake's mom was there, and they would hang out in my area during the day while the kids were shooting. And I got to know the moms, really well. I mean, when he sees me, he'll say, "Hey, how's it going? My mom asked how you were doing." And it's like good, and it was cool to watch them grow up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was saying they started quite young, and they've like it's been a few years now, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Sholo and Jake, they have a apartment they live in when they're shooting. They live together. It's not far from me, and that's about all I can say.
Yeah.
And it's in a much nicer neighborhood. Ralph stays in a few blocks away, and it's amazing how much nicer his is than mine. But yeah.
Do you often have like get-togethers, or is it more on set?
No, no, we never really get together off of work, ever.
Yeah.
When we're on set, we do get together. Now, sometimes departments get together, right?
Yeah.
Afterwards or on weekends. But yeah, it's a little bit like high school, where all the jocks hang out at one table, and all the stoners are at another table. And, it's kind of like that. I mean, making a movie is like building a house.
Yeah.
You have the general contractor, and then you have all your different departments, and you bring the guys in for the foundation, and the guys in for and that's how a movie's done too. You hire departments and you bring them all together.
Oh, brilliant. And what's been your favorite one to work on? What's been your favorite product?
Okay, and it's for two very specific reasons. The hardest thing about film production is moving.
Yeah.
You'll set up in a location, and even if it's just turning around, like okay, now we want to get the shot over there, where you grab all the equipment. The director and the actors go to their trailers, and that's when our work starts. We turn everything around, get it set up, and
Yeah.
we bring them back in. I mean, first we bring in the second team, which are their stand-ins and everyone, and we make sure everything is ready. And then when they walk in, they just go to their mark and we start. And sometimes that's an hour and a half later. Um,
Oh, okay.
or if we change locations, you pack up all the equipment, you put it on a truck, drive to the location, you unload it, you reset it up, and then you shoot the scene. So as you can imagine, the hardest thing is moving and setting up.
Yeah.
So my favorite shows have been Oz the Great and Powerful, which we shot in 2011. It was a Sam Raimi film. We
Okay.
did it in Detroit, and we never moved. And we were there for like 111 days of shooting, which is 6 months. And it was a giant production. And The Chosen, which is a crowd-funded show about Jesus and his followers. And for the same reason, we don't move that often. And when we do, we move to like an entire another state. So the move is over the course of a week, not an hour and a half. Okay.
Oh, it's a lot easier then, isn't it, when it's all together and that?
Mm-hmm.
And why did you leave the show? I think that was because you was on to Chosen at that point, wasn't you?
No, no, no. That has nothing to do with it. It was because Cobra Kai. I had to go to do another show in Baltimore, and sometimes the company you're with is like, "Hey, we're taking you off this one because we're going to put you on that one." And that's just how it goes. So
Okay.
I happened to miss the last 2 weeks of Cobra Kai, which was part of episode 10. I didn't do,
I
but
get you.
and Cobra Kai was actually moving from the place that is 8 minutes away to North
Yeah,
Carolina.
it's a lot
Um,
further.
it's a long ways off, and I was not going to go to North Carolina to do one show.
Yeah,
It's not. It's I do a lot of shows. Cobra Kai is just one of them. You know.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've done Tales of the Walking Dead. That I think is out right now, and I've done The
Okay.
Chosen, and I did The Man That Sits by, or The Spook That Sits by the Door, which I think is on Disney Plus,
Oh,
and
okay.
another one called The Long Slow Exhale, which was one of the hardest shows I've ever done, and I think it's on Paramount Plus, but it hasn't been broadcast. Sometimes they're not broadcast for years. Um,
Right.
so, but as it turns out, and I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn here, but Cobra Kai, I don't think is moving to North Carolina. I think they've decided. the stage was sold there because they could make, the guy who owned it could turn it into condos and make more money.
Yeah.
And I think they just moved the production to another place closer by. So when they start up season 6, I'll probably get a call and I'll make a decision at that point,
That's
whether I'll do it or not. Yeah.
That'd be great. I mean, it'd be easy for them if it is close to where they've been before, because everything's
It,
still there.
well, it's they moved it to a different stage. That'll be different. But here's the thing: I know everybody. Everybody knows me. We're real comfortable with, it's just like anything else. If it's easier, you tend to do it.
Yeah.
And it would be easier to do Cobra Kai than go do something I haven't done before.
That's so that nice when you've got like people you get on with, you just sort of relax
Hmm.
straight away, don't you?
Well, it's you know what to expect from them, so you're never surprised.
Well, have you
Hmm.
done you say, was there any of those films or series that was a little bit tensey, you say? A little bit more
Oh,
scarier?
like hard shows.
Yeah.
Hard shows. There was one I did in New Mexico one time. That just I remember when we finished. I think everybody just walked away like, "Oh my God, I'm glad that's over." I think it was called The Signal.
Okay.
I think it had some good actors in it. It was just that they didn't give us enough money. And the last day, I remember, I think we shot for 22 hours.
Wow.
And I mean, we just shot because there was no tomorrow. And if we didn't get everything in the can, um, well, they couldn't release it. That one was hard. Sometimes things with a lot of background. I did Night Teeth for Netflix in New Orleans right when the pandemic broke out, and that one was hard just because I was in Mardi Gras um, during the pandemic. Of course, we didn't know it, and we had 400 background on set, so that's always kind of fun. Um,
Can everyone tend
because
to relax when it comes to
yeah,
like sitting down and eating? Can they just switch off from?
and working with extras or background, and I love some of them personally, but it's like herding cats. They're sure that they're going to be a star, and I mean, sometimes they have more attitude than like the actor with his own trailer.
Oh
But
wow.
I mean, not always, but sometimes they kind of do. And they outnumber us sometimes. You know, there's like 300 of them, and we're like, yeah, we have to keep these guys in control. Um, and Yeah, I did the Tupac movie, like All Eyes on Me, and we had like concerts with Tupac, and there'd be 400 background. And
Yeah.
yeah, they would get a little rowdy sometimes. Yes.
I can imagine it go a bit tense and that a bit much, wouldn't it?
Hmm. Yeah.
I suppose a lot of them, when they turn up, they try and get a bit longer on camera and probably push a bit more.
Um, the dumb ones are, and you know what they'll do? They'll put them in the back, and they won't call them back the next day.
Yeah.
This is about money, all right? And everyone thinks, and they don't have time to mess around with stuff like that. So people that are obviously like that are put in the background, or put further in the back, and they're not called again. There are great professionals that are background artists who never look at the camera, who know how to mime. In other words, they'll carry on conversations without speaking, because
Yeah.
that's yeah, and they add in the audience noise later. So people in the background have to be quiet so the microphone can pick up the actors. So the background audience, the music, and all that stuff is piped in later.
Oh,
um,
great.
it's generally incredibly hot on set because you have to shut off the air conditioning when you're shooting, so the mics don't pick up the air conditioning running. They turn it back on
Right.
immediately when they cut, but it can get hot in a room full of people with fake smoke, a lot of hot lights. Yeah, it gets warm. Hmm.
So I bet it's like it can go a bit much because it is it pretty much all indoors sometimes, isn't it? A lot of this.
Uh, that's when we're at stage. When we did Breaking Bad, we would go to the houses, right? And we'd shoot the exteriors. But the inside of those houses didn't look anything like the characters' houses. Um, and then
Okay.
we would go to the stage and shoot the interiors. And, they made up the insides to fit the story and to fit what they wanted. They had to use the parameters of the side of the house,
Yeah.
but the inside was completely at the production designer's needs and wants and
Oh,
their creativity also.
that's great. Yeah, she needs a bit more room sometimes to get all the cameras in, don't you?
That's exactly it. Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
And
not, it
and
can be a
you
bit
need
much.
you also want a controlled environment where you can control the light coming through the window, or maybe you want it dark. There's a lot of things you want to control.
That's especially like if there's background noise as well, with it being probably
Hmm.
normal places.
Yeah, and if there's generally a jar on set that if your phone rings while they're shooting, you got to put $20 in, and I mean, and you
Okay.
are chastised for the phone ringing. Yeah, that is a big no-no. Is having your phone ring during a shot, or talking during a shot, or um, just not being aware of what's going on. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of crew members, and when you look at my wardrobe, I have a lot of black shirts, and that is so I don't attract attention, so the light doesn't bounce off my clothes. Another reason, and everyone on set wears black clothes a lot of times just for that, you
Just
know.
to sort of
So
blend in the background.
exactly that, and that's what you really want to do is just blend in. Yeah.
So I saw one on a film recently. It was on TV. It was showing you a cast member just walk around the background of a house, and they didn't realize they were filming. I think they had like a boom mic, and you just saw the head part around 2 seconds, and they just sort of
Hmm.
did a runner off set quickly. I can't remember what it was. It was just on YouTube showing some of the scenes and things.
Hmm.
So
Well, I mean, today with streaming and the way you can stop, the audience catches every mistake we make, every single mistake. I mean, you guys notice everything. And sometimes I've had a friend of ours named Matt. Hey, Matt,
yeah.
how's it going? I know he's there, right? Matt will ask me questions, and I love his British accent because he always sends me, I'm an American, so we just like the way you guys talk. But Matt will ask me, "Hey, Johnny, did you intend on doing it like this?" And sometimes it was like, "No, dude, it was a mistake." But yeah, it looks like we planned it, huh? Like something will happen in the background that you guys will think has further meaning when sometimes it's just there and random. Um, we try to plan a lot, but you guys notice absolutely everything these days. So we
Everyone's
we
taking every bit in.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you guys don't miss anything at all. Nothing.
Oh, so we, yeah, as you said, we love American accents as well. And
Don't you guys just talk dumb and then you sound like Americans? Isn't that what happens? I think that's what you do. I mean, it's like, you just sound a little dumb, and that happens to be an American accent, is all that is. Yeah. Yeah. I
I
think
know
that's
it's
exactly what
cool.
it is.
It's nice to, because like over here, there's a lot of different dialects as well. So it's really nice that when you
You
watch
mean
something,
you mean American
and
dialects or
it's
British dialects?
well, there's both. So it's nice. I find it interesting when I talk to people like yourself. It's nice to hear all the different
Hmm.
accents and take it all in because it's
Yeah,
really
well, see,
interesting.
I grew up in southwestern New Mexico, in an area where I don't know if you guys are familiar with the legend of Billy the Kid, right?
Yeah.
Uh, okay, that's where I'm from, is
Awesome.
exactly that area. Okay, and I never thought we had an accent, but apparently when I moved around, and I have a lot, yeah, we got. I guess it's a little southern Texas accent, a bit. Is that what
That's
it is?
it. Yeah, a little bit of
Okay.
text in that.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, I'm not a fan of Texas, being from New Mexico. The states have rivalries here. Yeah. And
Okay.
oh yes. Oh yes, big ones. Yeah. And yeah, I'm not, I was brought up not to really care for Texas, and I still don't. You know,
I get
you may
you.
feel that way about Wales. I don't know.
Yeah. Because where I am, we're literally on the border of Wales. I'm like in
Okay.
Shropshire, and then it's like Shropshire here, Wales there, and we're right down the line where we live.
See, you guys
So,
have knowledge of America. I just threw out Wales because it's the only other place I've ever heard of. I have
uh,
no idea where it is. I've heard, I don't really understand exactly what the United Kingdom, Britain, Ireland, Scotland, I don't get the whole thing. I've had people try to explain it to me, but we're Americans. You know, we're rich, loud, arrogant, and we're dumb. And
no,
but but
you guys are
but
great.
we're like your rich uncle, and you hope you're in the will, so you're still nice to us, because we're Americans, and if not, we'll just get a gun and shoot you probably. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I have been to America in '96,
Yeah.
and I absolutely loved it. And we're planning to come back again. So, and eventually we want to sort of tour around a little bit and see a bit more
well,
than
you've waited 24 years or 26 years, so it's about time, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
We wanted the kids to be old enough because it's like 9 hours now. I think it is on the plane, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
quite a jolt to come over.
Yeah, the festival's starting up if you can hear the traffic outside. So
I
do we
get
have
you.
any other questions?
Um, yeah, I think I know earlier he was asking what cast members you've been closer to during your filmings on your sets and that.
Um, you know, when I was on Breaking Bad, I got to be really good friends with Jonathan Banks.
Okay.
He played the hitman Mike. Um, I love that guy. He is the most down to earth person that you have ever met. I get along a lot with Billy, mostly because my name is Jonny, and he's played Johnny for like 35 years. And so, like the first day we met, because I am generally the first person you meet on the first day. Um,
Okay.
I am there at breakfast, welcoming everybody on the first day. So I am the first person you see every day. And Billy remembered my name. Me and Ralph get along because we're almost exactly the same age. And I mean, we've talked a lot about, philosophy of life and stuff and just being this age. Um, I worked with Terry Crews on Tales of the Walking Dead, and he told me a lot about trying to stay in shape in your 50s and fasting. I thought that was very cool. So all the places I go, I try to take something from each of them. And
Yeah.
also, almost every location I go to, I try to go to a baseball game at that location, whether it's major league, minor league, or even a college game. It's just what I do. And
There was a big
so
game up by yourselves recently, wasn't there?
no, it's the playoffs, honey. Oh
Is that the
gosh.
playoffs?
Okay. Oh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
not a
I'm sorry. I
sports person, but I
forgot
know there
you're
was a
British.
game by it.
You have no idea. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I'm in Atlanta. The Atlanta Braves won the World Series. So
Okay.
in America, when you're the champion of anything, we call ourselves world champions
Okay.
because we're just, and so we're in the playoffs again, and we're defending our world championship. And
Okay.
so, yeah, that is fun. Okay.
Oh,
It's
bro.
like, don't you guys do that about soccer or what you call football there?
Yeah, there's a lot of
Okay.
football matches all the
Okay.
time.
We have that going on here all day today. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Or
I have
usually.
playoffs, and then we have American football every Sunday. So we're doing that today.
Oh, brilliant. I've got a
Hmm.
cousin who actually plays rugby, which is a little bit similar to the American football.
It is
So,
nothing like it. Those guys are tough, man.
and
They don't
everyone says
they don't
that.
wear face masks. They just get broke. Yeah, those guys.
Yeah,
No.
that's true. Yeah, they just get
Yeah.
battered up, don't they?
Yeah, those guys are tough. Yeah.
I prefer
Mm.
how you guys wear all the protection things, and it's a bit more safer.
Yeah, yeah, that's what they say.
And what's it like over there at the moment as well? Because obviously over here it's just absolutely freezing. What's it like over by
Um,
yourselves?
where I am right now, it is the perfect time of year. This is the time of year when everything here. I'll just step out on my balcony. Right,
Okay.
this is fall in Atlanta. Right, it's
Wow.
68 degrees. I don't know what that is Celsius, but it is perfect weather. You can tell the trees are turning. People are walking up and down the street. Yeah,
That's
and
lovely.
yeah, so yeah, that is the weather here is absolutely perfect.
I'm just thankful it's not raining here. Usually it's raining.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is the southeast. We had a hurricane go through the area, what, like a week ago.
Really?
So yeah, came, yeah, big hurricane.
Wow. Was everything all right though?
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't right here. It was south of us in Florida, and
Yeah.
then it went around us and hit in North Carolina, which is north of us. So it skipped the state of Georgia, which is where I
Okay.
live. Yeah, in Atlanta, Georgia. So it went around us literally. But yeah, I mean, it's a very nice day. They're having a music festival. It's downtown Atlanta. I live pretty close to Dr. King's church. Martin Luther King Jr. is buried down the street about a half a mile,
Oh
and
wow.
that is where his church was. And yeah, this is the area for the birth. This is the area where the civil rights was born, um, and the civil rights movement was born in America in this area.
Oh wow. So there's a lot of history then where you are.
Yeah, absolutely a lot, you know?
Oh, great. I mean, where I am, there's only like 20 houses. I think there's about 20 and just a
Hmm.
church and a village hall. So,
That must be nice. It must be really nice. I live in a city of 7 million people. That
wow.
has to be so nice. Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
definitely peaceful, but you've got the Foo Fighters and everything, and we've got ABBA
Yeah.
playing. So you've definitely got
Ava.
the music. So
That's funny. Ava. I remember that. Yeah, I do.
yeah, it's all ABBA tributes and things at the minute, and we just love how you guys do Halloween as well, because you guys still put out all the pumpkins and everything, don't you? Do they do that in your state? I know in one of my friends' states they do.
Oh no, it's an American thing. It's very American. It's the yeah, it's the only holiday Americans agree on, and
Yeah.
uh, and it seems to be. It used to be for kids. Now it's kind of for adults. I noticed. Yeah,
It's great. I wish we'd like do more like that over here.
yeah.
We've just started to do like scarecrow trails, so that's something.
Okay, all
So
right.
you have to look for the scarecrows in people's garden. And you just see them at the roundabouts, dressed up in work gear and things. So we're
Yeah,
getting there.
yeah.
Do the zoos by you doing things? 'Cause I know there's one of the states that have a zoo that have a drive-through Halloween thing that goes
Oh,
on.
there's a lot of things I'm sure in the area. There'll be haunted houses. There'll be parties. They'll take their kids trick or treating to the neighborhood. Um, for me, though, I don't really have any plans. I generally, it seems like I'm usually working at that time of year.
Yeah.
I have videos from um, I think uh, the Halloween from Cobra Kai a couple of years ago. I think we had a donut eating contest. It was just um, where the crew members were eating. Two of the crew members were eating as many donuts as they could. Right? It seemed like it was on Halloween, and everyone comes dressed up in their Halloween costume. I remember Ralph was well. They were shooting that Halloween scene at that time too
Yeah.
during season 1 of Cobra Kai. Do you remember that one?
I think
Um,
so, yeah. It was right at the beginning, wasn't it?
yeah. Anyway, that was those days because even though we were shooting it then, it happened to be Halloween when we were shooting it, which never
Oh,
happens. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, never happens. No, because I mean, I've done like um, Christmas movies in July in
Wow.
Memphis, and I felt so sorry for those poor people. It was like I think it was called um, Honeymoon at Graceland or something, and
Okay.
it was about Elvis. They were getting married where Elvis used to live, and it was supposed to be Christmas, and it was July,
Oh
and I
no.
felt so bad for those poor people in those
They're having to get
boats.
all the big coats on and
Okay, it's
everything.
very hot in Memphis, Tennessee in
Yeah.
July. It is horribly hot there. Okay, yeah.
Oh. And what are you working on right this moment, or are you having a
I
break
am
for the
not
minute?
on anything. I am okay. I am sitting on my butt right here. I finished the show 2 weeks ago yesterday. It was season 3 of The Chosen, the crowd-funded thing about Jesus Christ and his followers. Um, they're going to do 4 more seasons of that one. I know,
Okay,
and
great.
I mean, I'll get an invite. I don't know if I'm going to do it. You know, it all depends at the time. You know, um, you try to do the same ones, but sometimes something else comes up, and sometimes they offer you more money,
Yeah.
and sometimes you go, okay, you know, um, and so I know. And then I'm going to go to my hometown of Roswell, New Mexico next week, and go to a high school reunion
Oh,
and then
great.
come back, and then I'll put myself on the overflow list in the union, and I'll start getting calls for to day play on shows. And in the Atlanta area, there's a bunch of television shows going on and movies, so I'll probably jump around from one to another until someone calls me for like an entire show or an entire series.
Oh, that's it. And what's Roswell like? Because I've heard a lot
Raw.
about it. A
It is
lot.
okay. It is nothing like what you heard. It's a little town far away from anything. Growing up in Roswell, you're very isolated. It's 200 miles to the nearest larger town, and literally, if you drive north of Roswell, it's 100 miles until you reach the next town. And that
Wow.
means the next building. Okay. You seem to think that there's nothing there. Okay.
Yeah.
Like nothing. Okay. And it's plains, and there's one tree on the left if you're driving north, and everyone knows, like you'll say, I had a flat tire, and they'll say where, and you're like about 10 miles north of the tree, and they'll say, oh, I know exactly where you mean. Um, so I mean, it's just an old cowboy town, right? That grew
Okay.
up on the Pecos River. And I went to school with Demi Moore. She was in my fourth grade class.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I've known her all my life. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. I've never worked with her though, but I've known her all my life. And so Roswell's a little town of about 45,000 people.
I get it, yeah. So it's
Mm-hmm.
nice you all sort of know each other.
Oh, you know some people. I mean, yeah, it's 45,000 people. My great grandfather was the first mayor of Roswell, New Mexico, in 1905. Um, his sheriff at the time was Pat Garrett. Pat Garrett is the guy who killed Billy the Kid. Um,
All right.
and so my grandfather was born there. My dad, me. There are streets with my last name on it. So City Hall is in um, the Stockard building, even though no one calls it that. But when you go inside, there's a small plaque that says that.
Oh, that's brilliant. So lots
Yeah,
of
it's
history there.
okay. Yeah, a little bit.
I've only got a bridge named after me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
my
that's gotta be great.
it's my great granddad. He was mayor of
Uh-huh.
where I grew up, but nothing
Yeah.
interesting like that. He funded one of the football teams, So
Oh, okay.
and over here, that's like, yay, football. Okay. So it's not too bad.
Yeah.
So are you going to the film festival? Well, music festival, I should say.
No, 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 I'm not. I am going to watch um, the football game, and then I'm going to watch the baseball game later, and that's what I'm planning on doing. And then tomorrow I'll start getting ready for my trip to New Mexico. That's 1,275 miles. I
Wow.
don't know. I don't know. It'll take me 2 days to drive there. You know? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a long ways. But sometimes I like to drive across country and just kind of look at America from the view of my Toyota Tundra. Yeah.
Uh, well, it's nice though if you enjoy the drive as well. It's nice to take it all in, then, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I do enjoy it. I do.
I bet it's nice to just have that peace and quiet for a bit as well.
There is that, and you don't think about anything. And I'll take, okay, I've been off for 2 weeks. In about 2 more weeks, even though I've been dreaming of not working for a while, in about 2 more weeks, I'll start to get kind of antsy and tired of sitting around.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'll probably start going back to work real soon.
Okay. So you like being in the environment more than out of it.
Yeah, but even though it's really cool and everything, it's my job. So I'm just like you are with yours. When I'm there, I'm thinking, hey, what am I going to do this weekend? What time is it? I can't wait till I get off. Darn, wish I didn't have to work today. It's the same thing. It's just, um, yeah. I get to watch my work on television sometimes later. Yeah. Then, yeah.
Which is the chosen one? Is that on Netflix when it's aired, or is
Wait, was that Tales? Oh, The Chosen?
yeah? Because that's the one I think you've posted recently. Is that
Okay, The Chosen is worldwide. Um, you can download the Chosen app anywhere and watch it for free
okay,
anywhere.
bro?
Yeah. Um, I so it's completely crowd funded. So there's no executive producers. So the interesting thing about this show is like when the writer director Dallas Jenkins wants to do something, he mentions it that he wants to do it, and he'll ask for more money, and they give it to him. Other shows, the writer director will go, "Hey, I need more money," and the producer says, "No, you got this much. Shut up. Deal with it." But
Okay.
yeah, and it's free, so they don't have to. It's a very religious. I'm not a religious person, um, um, but everybody on this show is, and they're very nice. Um,
Okay.
um, but there's several. I mean, we have a lot of people that are volunteers or interns,
Yeah.
and they're basically unpaid. They're there because Jesus told, and then they have a lot of us film professionals that are there because the show's gotten really big and the
Yeah.
production values are really good.
Oh, great.
But it's very interesting, and everyone's really nice, and it's you can watch it for free on by downloading the Chosen app anywhere worldwide, is what
Oh,
I'm told,
bro.
and
And
it's absolutely free for everyone.
there's just a question. Would you ever work in England?
Oh yeah, yeah. I have friends that went to where was that? Like Finland to work on a show, and then I've
Okay.
had friends that are native. Sometimes they shoot films about Native Americans in Hungary or
Oh,
Czechoslovakia. I don't know why, but probably because it's cheaper.
yeah.
So yeah, I've always wanted to travel out of the United States. 'Cause I anyway, I just do. I
See
really do.
all
So
these
yes,
things.
yeah, yes.
Is there anywhere particular you'd like to go in England or
Yeah, because see, my family migrated, came from England to America, and I believe like 1524. I mean, we left England a long, long time ago, but I believe the history of my family is that we're from Scotland, I believe,
Oh,
and
cool.
they herded sheep or stock, or they were stock herders, and then the stock herder eventually just became stockard. And yeah, so I've always wanted to find out where I'm from. Growing up as a
Cool.
kid, I had bright red hair in a very Hispanic community. So I used to
Okay.
stick out. Like they would, my cousin would say, I can find you on the playground in a minute. And I don't even bother. I can find you every time. Um,
Oh,
so, yeah, I've always wanted to go to Great Britain and kind of explore it. Yes.
oh, great. And I've got some family apparently up Scotland and somewhere in Wales, and I've got my nan was half Irish. So I want to try and get over to Ireland at some point as well. I can't say it without throwing the Ireland in
Uh-huh.
it.
I bet.
I have to just sort of throw the accent in. Matt's just said, would you ever go down to Devon at some point?
Okay, I don't know where Devon is. I
Down
have no
south.
idea where
It's
that is.
the sunny part of
Is
England.
that where Torquay? Okay,
That's it. Yeah.
okay, okay. I would love to go visit Matt. Okay, I would, Matt. I'd love to go visit, hang out with you for the day. You could take me to a pub. I don't even really drink, but I could, I guess. But I'd really like to go visit the castles that you always take pictures of. It would be fun. Yeah, I would like to. I've had several conversations with Matt, and I feel like sometimes they're heavy on his side, because he sends me tapes, so I listen and I don't really get to respond back. Um, so it'd be more fun to be on a one-on-one with you, Matt. That would be
Yeah.
kind of cool. Yeah.
Bit easier to talk, right? Isn't
It
it?
would, but as you notice, I don't have problems talking. That's
Yeah.
why when you asked me to do this, I was like, "Are you sure? You sure?" I can get a little carried away.
Oh no, that's fine.
Yeah. All right.
So good. I have to sort of warn about my battery, so I don't want it to cut out halfway through. So I best call it at that so it doesn't
All right.
interfere with the feed and the saving. But thanks so
Okay.
much for joining. It's been a pleasure talking to you and hearing everything that you're working on and that.
Thank you. It was really nice to meet you. You have a
And
great day. All
you.
right.
Thank you, and you. And I hope the music doesn't get too loud either for you.
It'll be fine. It's a great autumn day here.
Oh, great. All right. Well, cheers again, and thanks everyone who's viewed as well. So sometimes
Thank.
the comments disappear after the feed. So if anyone wants to pop them on afterwards, that's when they stay on to the section
Okay.
of it. So, all
All right.
right. Thanks again, Jonny, and I'll speak to you soon. Take
All
care.
right.
All
All right.
right.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.